decision making, you can get fatigued from that. And so when you look at like people that run really big businesses, they have like 5 different shirts, right? They have like 5 different shorts that are probably all the same, pants, all those types of things. And they're taking a lot of decisions out of their day. And that has been huge for me, because when I go to the fridge, I don't have to think about what am I going to cook? What am I going to make? Everything's already made. I know exactly what day I'm making, and I know exactly how much to make. I know exactly what workouts I'm doing on what days. I know what day my trainer's coming. I know what day I'm doing acupuncture. I know what day I'm going to the chiropractor. And so that way, when I have to make decisions like going on podcasts and chatting and being more flowy, I can save all my reserve of decision making for those opportunities, because that's what's most fun to me. And so people ask me like, why don't you have fun and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, listen, I have the most fun in my life, but the most important thing to be able to have fun, which is my biggest value, is to make sure that I feel good. And so it doesn't mean that sometimes I won't eat some gluten-free cake or something, right? But I weigh it all of like, okay, do I have a podcast tomorrow? If so, I'm not going to interact with cannabis, right? I'm not going to interact with cake and those types of things. Doesn't mean I never enjoy them, but at the same time, I make sure that I'm using the right kind of mindset behind them. Because for me, with cannabis, for instance, right? That is a weekend thing for me, because I go into my hermitness in the weekend, right? And I journey and I get new downloads and I figure out like, what am I missing? What can I get better at? These types of things. And then when the weekday comes, I want to be in a complete sober state of reality other than cacao, to be able to integrate what I've learned over the weekend and be able to come fully correct on podcasts when I'm doing them, when I'm coming on them, when I'm coaching. That's my biggest, it's what I get the most fulfillment from. And so, if the fulfillment equals me having that type of lifestyle, I'll pay that price every single time. It's worth it.
That's just tremendous. I mean, that's just such an important message for everybody to hear, is that, you really figured out the way how to structure your life. And, you've called it decision-making fatigue. And I know research has shown that, willpower definitely has a ceiling. And if you're, a lot of people experience this by, quote unquote, eating well all day long. And they're working hard and they're checking off things on their list and they're getting stuff done and they're being a responsible human being. And then they get home at night and they're exhausted and they're tired. And then all of a sudden, all the willpower goes out the window because they're exhausted. And then they overeat dinner, or they have a bunch of shit before they go to bed or whatever. And then they berate themselves. And the next day they try it again. And it's because willpower you only have so much energy and you run out by the end of the day. I mean, Steve Jobs was famous for wearing the black turtleneck, right? And jeans. I mean, he always had the same, for that very reason, because he reduced one less decision he had to make every day on how to get dressed. And I will admit that confession that sometimes, Ryan, when I'm really deep in my hermit mode and I'm really studying subjects that I really want to become mastery in, sometimes I like literally wear the same thing for like 2 days. Like my clothes are clean, but like I'll take it off at night and I'll hang it or whatever. Usually it's nothing that fancy if I'm really, studying. But I'll just put it on the next. Of course, I change my underclothes, but the outside, the shirt, like the sweater or whatever, it might be the same. And it's just because it's one less thing and I'm off doing it. And, it works for me. So give yourself permission that no one cares. I mean, it's really, at the end of the day, it's about your energy. And what your point is how you feel, like how you feel. Like, sorry if it makes you uncomfortable that I'm not engaging in the Oreos, like your example, because it's going to make you feel better. But it's not worth it to me. And for me, I know I pick my battles. Like maybe it is the Oreos on a Saturday night, but then that means on Sunday, it's not something else, because then I'll be wrecked on Monday type thing.
Exactly.